Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second episode of Shadows in Survival, the hit podcast on our beautiful server. We are coming back to you again today. My name is Kid Cat Connor, otherwise known as Jim, and we have our other beloved host.
The Fox himself, level up, aka Simon. What's
Yeah.
up out there?
Hello. Okay, so
Hello.
what is on the schedule for today?
So, the big question I got from some out of our community is why we are doing this podcast and who are we? So, basically, we can do a whole podcast for each person of ourselves. But today, for me, it would be important to tell you guys out there why we're doing this and maybe a little bit informations about ourselves to show you who we are.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. So, who are you?
Who I am? Well, I'm Bob. You know me as the wonderful German psychopath that is running for, I guess now, let it be 3 years, maybe 4 years in this community. Um, Started with on ST before the servers was going to SOS. It was ST, and I joined this community. I played Dr. Raymond Wagner, a German old grandpa medical doctor, crazy shit, and from that things turned more chaotic, more psychopath. But I'm still here, and I guess the mix from someone who never spoke daily English to now almost speaking daily English make my character, my voice, and the whole interaction very unique on the server. Yeah, but who are you?
Well, I haven't been here for too long, but I am otherwise known as my main character, which was Jim for the season Keys to Copa, or Connor. I joined the server about a couple of months ago from one of my good friends, Adam Bomb. Adam Bomb, if you're listening, love you, man. But pretty much, yeah, I joined this server and I saw the potential of it. I loved everyone that I interacted with. I met some really great people, some pretty good friends. And from there, I made friends with Crypto, our last guest, and from there, he introduced me to the admin team, and things went to another, and here I am. I helped create the map, I handle tickets, and of course, I love managing and helping this amazing community that we're a part of. Everyone here is just so delightful. But yeah, pretty much I'm here to support you guys and the server and everything that it is to become and will become.
Lovely. And with that, you mentioned already two things why this podcast existing. First of all, friendship. Um, with Connor here, with our beloved Jim, I found a really, really good friend, a brother from another mother. So the whole dynamic is matching with you and me. So I
Mhm.
had from the first time we mentioned doing a podcast a really good feeling about that. The second reason is the community. We, or especially I, have the feeling that a podcast from the community for the community has quite more success than everything else, because if you speak to other members, simple members of the server, simple parts of the community, you speak more freely, more open, more directly about things, honestly about things, than you would do it on other hand. So this podcast is not only to introduce you the single members that we have in our community. This podcast is also there to show you different perspective of the server, on the RP, on the storylines, and as well about the community.
Brilliantly put. Yeah, for sure. To add on, this podcast, what we're trying to do is just kind of bring to light some really good moments that people may have had in RP. Just talk about the server and, some issues or some highlights or some good things that have come out of it. Just
It's like this
making
friendship.
sure. Yeah, of course. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Um, and just sit back, relax, and grab some snacks, and then just chill out. It's not gonna be something big. It's not gonna be something like a big deal. It's more just to discuss. As friends, if you're ever on this podcast, it'll be lovely to have you. I know we've had a couple of people actually talk to us about how they want to be on this podcast, and don't worry, we will be getting to you guys, but we just thought it would be important to do a show about me and Volp here. So with that being said, Volp, I have a question for you.
Yes.
One, what is your favorite season so far? And two, what has been the best moment?
Ooh. Ooh. That's tough one because from now all 3 seasons that we have or had, I wouldn't say I have a favorite season
Oh,
because the storyline from All Against Odds to Keys of Cobra, and with both seasons and interaction with the character, with the storyline and the character development that we have, it was so far pretty unique. Something that you will not find in the German community. So, and that makes the whole thing for me very interesting. For me, more important than the lore was to see how other people play their characters. And honestly, we have in our community, I will not mention any names, but whoever um, think that I'm talking about them, you can feel pretty honored and proud of that if I say we have some unique players in our rows. I would love to see them in a cinema on a big fucking screen
wow.
in some movies. There are some really unique players in here that take RP very seriously and bring all this shit, all the lore that we can provide to next level. And it's lovely to see, and it makes great fun. And well, maybe you get a little bit addicted to that, so my sleep schedule from time to time is a little bit fucked. Beside
Oh
of
yeah,
my
no, I feel you on that one.
beside of my shift system on work. But what is my best situation, or my Ooh, there are many. There are many. There are really terrible and sad ones where I was sitting here in my living room with tears in my eyes, and it took me a couple minutes to realize, hey, guy, this is just a game. No one died actually, so calm down. Um, the death of Devon, Jim, props on you. You are a very unique player, and I miss this little bastard so much.
I've heard about him. I really have.
He was great. Jäger, for Jäger, my last character, he was like a son that he never had.
Wow.
And to hear that he died by a simple trip back and forth from 2 different bases, um, it broke me. It broke this character, and yeah, there was some real emotions into to this connection. On the other side, the death of Cynthia's brother, who got bitten by an infected,
Mm-hmm.
uh, who got killed by Jaeger because at this moment we had no clue about a vaccine to prevent the virus to spread out in the body. Yeah, a last drink, last good conversation, and it was nighttime in Krona Castle. The gates got open. He stood there in front of the darkness and got a headshot. Another death that broke my heart.
Yeah, no, for sure, seriously.
So, another funny moment in my mind would be the Turbulent facility in Livoniak in Keys of Copper. The first time I got in there and saw the amount of zombies it was, I counted 96 of them.
Oh,
And I
goodness.
got in full stealth. I got full stealth at this moment. I was so scared. I was so done. It was live on stream. I was sitting on top of the on top of the roof, and I was sitting here in my living room. Imagine that. I was sitting here. I smoked in 5 minutes 3 or 4 cigarettes. I was like, okay, you know what? If I die here, it's fine for me. I had to go everything through my mind, think about everything for a moment, just to say, okay, if I die now, it's fine. But luckily, I got out. I got out, and I was. So whoever saw the stream, I know Skins saw the stream. The emotions after that, I was out of the facility, run straight down to the river, hiding somewhere in the forest, laying on the ground. I had tears of joy and happiness in my mind, in my face, and my mind was poo. Oh, it was great.
And for those who don't know what the Toplet facility is, last season in Keys to Copa, there was this facility that was important for the story. But our amazing coder, Num, if you're listening, he put so many zombies in there that it was so overwhelming to the sheer
But
amount
there
of
was
zombies. It was incredible.
there was a reason why.
Oh yeah,
Don't
for sure.
forget that there
was
was a
a
reason why.
reason.
We are not supposed to be in there
Yeah,
at this
no.
moment. But this fucking fox didn't listen and went another time in there and find the law documents.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Uh,
we had a lot of fun. Yeah, that was
oh
a
yeah.
really good moment for sure. Very true.
What was your favorite moments
Man.
and what was your favorite season? That would be. I mean, you got only to Keys of Copper, right?
Yeah, I've only experienced Kisikopa surprisingly. I
Mm.
haven't been here for all that long. I will say
Mm.
I have three main moments.
All right.
So I'm sure that I'm sure a lot of people know this, but there's a player. Her name is Sakura. Sakura, if you're listening, hello. This is for you. So yes, we were walking to Jaeger's compound, and Crypto, I'm targeting you, buddy. Crypto, we were with a group. It was Dovahkiin, it was Viking Grizzly, it was Crypto, it was myself, Sakura, and Volt. And we were
Yeah.
walking back to his little establishment. And of course, a zombie comes on in. Her character is a little excited when it comes to zombies because she wants to kill them. And let's just say that she ran directly in front of Crypto when he shot his crossbow. And the noise, if anybody has ever used a crossbow in DayZ and they've heard the noise of the, they understand what happened. She died instantly. Uh, and it was a really
Yeah.
funny moment because everyone didn't know how to, like, we didn't know if that was like a, that was canon. We didn't know if it was going to happen. We all just stood around making a noise going, and then
Well,
Crypto, he kind of started playing it out, and his character started freaking out, and then that's when we all realized, oh shit, this is real. So we all locked in instantly, and we just started RPing it out. But that moment of like the 1 or 2 seconds where we just had an uncertainty of, oh my god, did that just happen? And we're all looking at each other and going, um,
the clip for that is still available on TikTok, on my TikTok page. At Lavope995, you will find me there.
yeah. Oh man, it's a video clip, all right, for sure. That was,
I remember it pretty good.
oh yeah, for
Oh
sure. That was,
Jesus.
I think that was like the first time you and me actually like met, because like, I mean, we've seen
No,
each other
no,
a couple of times, but like,
no. The first time we met and had a conversation was the s- was the first time or the second time the HOC was got a contract to
I
watch over the
believe,
process in Copa,
yeah, I believe it was the
Copa
first
prison.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe it was the first time.
yeah, exactly. I called you Sergeant Blueberry.
Yes, Blueberry, lovely. That
Yeah,
I can't forget that
Blueberry.
name. Uh
Yeah,
huh.
yeah.
Um, I'll probably have to
Co-
say,
Covered
yeah.
in full blue
Oh man.
ambulance jacket,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, that outfit will go down in history because I wore that
Yeah.
one almost every damn day for a little while. I will have to say my second best RP experience that I've had so far is actually probably the Toplin facility. The time that I was with him. So if you guys don't know who this man is, he's a little insane. So we're in a car, and this guy says, "I have an idea." And it's me,
What?
Viking Grizzly.
Wait! You talking about me that I'm an insane person?
Yes. Yes,
No,
100. Oh,
not me.
100%.
Oh
Okay,
no.
so it was me, Volp, Stony Jam, and Viking, and we're all in a car. And this maniac says, "I have an idea." And we're all wondering what this idea is. We pull up to the Toppin facility, knowing what's in there, and he just starts doing donuts and honking the horn. And it just unleashes hordes upon hordes of infected. And I mean, we're running them over and over and
96?
over and over and over again. And we're just having fun and screaming and laughing. And I will say, I believe we're the reason why they put out a server update where they said that
Mm-hmm.
we can't
Mm-hmm.
we can't run over zombies. I do
Mm-hmm.
apologize about that, Wyla, but I just want you to know it was one of my best moments in this whole entire server. It was beautiful.
I can only apologize at this moment as well. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I hear when the car stopped and I jumped out and said I will be right back. I heard about your voice. What are you thinking? And it was like, no, you don't. Don't do this.
Yeah,
Don't
I
jump
was
in
like,
there.
please don't.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
surprisingly, my first character wasn't actually Jim in the season. It was this guy named Kenny, I believe. And Kenny died by the Toplin facility. That's how I died as that character. So,
Together with
um,
Dovahkiin.
yes, with Dovahkiin, yes.
Hmm.
He was one of the first people I met on the server, and I died with him at the Toplin facility. And oh boy, that was a lot, for sure. Um, my final moment, one of the best ones I've had, would probably have to be the end event for this season for Keys to Copa. That's when I started getting into map design. So I created the final event. So having the sheer amount of pride and, seeing all of the hard work that I put in to
Mm.
this event and seeing people react to it and, you know, being there and doing the event myself, it made it feel more real instead of just being on my PC late at night just working on it. It was beautiful RP throughout it. That's when our characters left to go to the season that is current.
Mm.
And just the performance from everybody, that little event, it made it all the more worth it. I mean, there are a couple of times, especially with this season, because I made the map for this one. I've heard some reactions from people reacting to the map, and a couple of times, I'm not gonna lie, you get choked up because it's like when you spend so much time on a project like this. I believe the final numbers for the map that is Frostlines or Sakal. I believe it was 2,497 objects, and it
Mm.
ended at 243 hours of work. And
Jesus.
with that, that was just the map. I mean, this event maybe took me at least like 5, 6 hours, but still, I mean, the event went out perfectly. It was done well. And I will say, I have to agree with Stony Jam. He tells me a couple of times, he's like, man, I feel so nostalgic thinking about Arcadia and, RPing with everybody. I completely agree. You know, the connections that you make with people in this server are beyond crazy. I mean, some of these people, like, just like anybody else, in real life or in a video game, you don't know them until you talk to them for a little while, and then hell, who knows? One of them could go to your wedding one day, and the other one can be your best bud. But whatever the case might be, that event probably was my last best moment that I had, and I look forward to making tons and tons more.
You mentioned something really important that hopped in my mind.
Hmm.
The connections to people, especially what we had in Acadia.
Hmm.
100% I agree to that. You don't know the people uh, before you spend a little bit time with them. So in All Against Odds, um, we stranded all together, and from there, the whole group was traveling across the country following Jaeger. So, from my perspective, after we settled down in Corona Castle, I had around 22 people in my castle listening to what was my plan or what are we gonna do. And I said, no, come on. I mean, that was great RP. Yeah, not gonna lie on that.
Yeah.
But I missed a little bit the part to have different groups out there, bigger groups. Yeah, so 12 people there, 4 people there, 6 people there, 12 people there. So a little bit mixed up all over the country. No, everything was focused on one point. So it's great, absolutely. But I changed that after the first season was over and we moved to Keys of Cobra. So from the beginning on, I said I just want to have maximum 6 or 8 people in my group, no more.
Hmm.
So whoever's knocking on my door, no, go, go out there, die. I don't care. You don't come in.
Yeah, do something
uh,
for sure.
so other people has the chance to create their own community, and I mean, we supported with Acadia some people to have this take this chance to create something for themselves, but unfortunately they didn't take it, and they didn't took it, and but to see in this season now with Frozen Echoes, we have different groups, many different groups so far I know.
Hmm. 100%.
I love that. I really love that because that makes the whole thing more interesting. Because now, if you have a mind like I have, who try to have everything connected and try to write everything down, I have a fucking little book right next to me if I play on the server where I write every fucking information down on a piece of paper. So this little mind game, I love that. So we will see how this is going this season.
Oh, for
I
sure.
see many potential in there, and as well, I need to thank you, buddy. I need to thank you,
Oh,
especially
okay.
you, because you took so many of your free time and put it into this project, and with all the modding stuff and all this shit, and what you present us is breathtaking and stunning. It's beautiful, it's perfect. It is perfect.
Well, I will say this. What I do and what I will continue to do is world build. World building is fun. I will say that I've been in this community for a little while now. I haven't been in this community as long as others have been. And I don't mean to get all sappy and everything, but I have seen, I've talked with people, and a lot of people are dealing with something. I mean, we all are dealing with something at the end of the day, whether it be a hard day at work, whether it be coming home from school, whether it be a family member passing away. It can be anything. But what I do not for myself, but for others in this server to come home, hop on the game, and be excited to play the server and play my map and play Crypto's story and just delve themselves in a world that doesn't have to be whatever they're dealing with now. They can just forget about that for an hour, maybe two, 15 minutes even. And that hour, that 15 minutes, whatever that may be, could be the break that you needed to continue going through this hell of a thing that we call life. And I know that sounds like a lot for building something in a game called DayZ, but that's just my take on it. And I do appreciate you,
I, I mean, at the end of the day, you spend time for all of us. Yeah, you sit there and do your modding stuff on the computer instead of playing or meeting with friends, meeting with with your girlfriend, whatever. You take this amount of time, of free time, and give it to us. So the only thing that we can say is thank you for that.
it is my pleasure and I will be happy to do it again. 100%.
That's good to hear. I hope there's more common.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
So, you mentioned, conversations ago, Jesus, you mentioned something that still in my mind. Um, remember when you switched the teams from Copa to HOC?
Oh boy, how could I forget? Yes, I remember. I remember.
Why? Why you had this in your mind? Because you mentioned that you was playing with this bridging thing for quite a time at the moment, and I, for my interest, why? Why you wanted to come to me?
So, I will say that as my character, Jim came into the world a goody two shoes, happy to help, give a kid a lollipop after they get a shot, that kind of doctor. My character was a general surgeon that through the world being dark wanted to make a little light. And the world would just destroy Jim. I mean, I'm not over exaggerating when I said I would try to be that nice doctor still, but DayZ is unforgivable, man. I mean, there'd be some moments, like, let's see, I think the first turning point was a character named John, who's played by Tinned Duck. And buddy, I want you to know you were the cause for Jim's just dark path. So John
You
gets
you you saw you saw that his character from this season died as well.
that guy cannot get a break. He cannot get a break. I gotta like text him and talk to him and be like, yo man.
I was
But
thinking the same.
yeah, no, I
Jesus.
know. But like John gets infected and Jim has been working on a small vaccine kind of cure, and um pretty much he diagnoses the cure, and what the system is there's a roll system where you roll and you see if you turn insane, you die, or you get infected, right? These three. And he got death. So he had to RP it out, and he takes this engraved cult and he walks over to the river, and I'm with him, so is Crypto, and he shoots himself. And that was the first just jaw-dropping, oh my god, that happened moment. And Jim devotes everything to trying to fix his mistakes. And Jim, throughout the season, actually gains a nickname called Collector of the Dead. Pretty much anytime somebody would die and Jim was close to them, he would take a trinket from them and start collecting them. He had a beanie from Crypto's character, a teddy bear from Sakura's character, a engraved colt from John, and the golden deagle from yours truly, Jaeger. Yes, yeah. And pretty much after a while, my character digressed throughout it. And I guess through Copa, because with Copa, it was meant to kind of be mysterious and big and bad and everything. And there were a couple of characters like Shepard and Eisenbard. They would come out into the story and they would make claims about how the place tortured them or yada yada. And Jim, throughout it, wanted to just help people. And seeing that Copa was used for a place of bad, he just couldn't do it anymore. And he realized that this place is not what it seems. So Jim, with Sakura, goes to Jaeger after he invites him over for tea, and that's when Sakura dies.
No, we didn't invite you for tea. We lured you out of Copa with a little lie from
Oh
Goodbye
yes,
Kitty.
yes, that's what it was. Yes. Okay, so
And I was showing you all the documents that we found and
yes, that's what that
all the
was.
guesses and what we had about Copa Prison and the connection with Shepard and what Eisenbart is telling and all this shit. Yeah.
So that was when I turned to the HSC, but the first kind of interaction we had was, I believe Sakura died, I stayed at Arcadia for a little while, and then I wanted to become your spy for Arcadia.
Yeah.
And then I would go back and forth to Copa and Arcadia, and I was a spy for a little while. And then, they lured me over after there was a false claim of someone getting injured and they needed a doctor, so they showed me the documents, and I think that's kind of when I finally made my grand old speech that I did. That was off the fly from my mind, by the way. That was a completely randomized speech that I just planned out.
It was great.
I don't want to toot my horn, but it was a pretty damn good speech.
It was great.
That
It
speech,
was amazing.
yeah, that speech echoed out through the Zello, which is the app that we use for radio in the server, and pretty much Copa was confused. Wyla, I do apologize again. I remember we talked about it in a party, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. But your character was Nurse Nina, and she was distraught, and she was like, "You were my friend," and blah blah blah. And I remember, out of RP, I was like, "Oh my god, this feels awful." But in RP, Jim was going down a path. Jim's story arc, I think, was one of my most impressive RP moments, just in general. I put a lot of effort into making his story arc great. Um, but I think it's just because Jim saw that the place was that he committed to was used as a front for what he wanted to do, which was to help people. And Arcadia seemed more close knit and truth seekers more than so. And I think that's kind of when my character made the decision to just, well, fuck it. If we're gonna be this far, then we might as well just go right into it. And from there, I became the Jim that everyone knows me from last season.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a lot. I remember that. That was a big kind of event, let's say, in the timeline of Keys to Copa for sure. A question for you that I was wondering. With each one of your characters, you have a connection. The HOC.
Yeah.
And a man called Costello. Now,
Yes.
I know what it is, but for anybody else that doesn't know what it is, please explain the great multiverse that is the HOC.
Oh. Do we have time left on our clock
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that? I
yeah.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, we have a little while. We have a little bit.
Okay, perfect. So, the HOC, the tool that I created almost 9 years ago now, started with a GTA RP. Was first a small group of criminal people or crime RP players. And in the German community, there is a little, yeah, I don't want to say misunderstanding, but so the thing between crime RP players and cop RP players is, on the German server, more like who has the bigger balls. And unfortunately, most of the crime players play fair, very fair, following all the rules set up by the server, and the cops complained all the time. So I was like, hey, we need the connection for both sides. So what is the issue with the cops? Oh, with the players that love to play cop RP, and what is the issue with the crime players? So we figured that out and write down some own rules what we have to keep attention on if we do crime stuff. And this group grow and grow over time and build this bridge between both sides. From there, I saw, hey, there's a lot of new players coming. They want to have some action. They try crime RP, but they failed so many times doing this. So why we don't use these rules that we have written down for us to show them how you can play fair, nice, and enjoyable crime RP for both sides. And it worked. So after time, this whole thing got a name, the House of Costello. And from there, it started to become a law, founded by Costello, led by Costello, Dr. Wagner, Paco Giorgiani. Props on Skanda if you listen to that, you old Kazakh bastard. I love you. And I really miss you. But you buy yourself a fucking PC. I will never forgive you that. Liam Abruzzi and Leo Abruzzi. Um, these characters was the spearhead of the HOC, and from there we joined from server to server, brought this whole concept and the lore with us, and implement that to the server, and every time it worked, and everyone who got interacted with the HOC enjoyed it in which way ever, doesn't matter. So even if you are hostage, we have rules for that. So my goal is that all people who are involved in this have a good time in RP. I know that a hostage situation is stressful, and of course, sometimes it happens if you don't want to have this happen. Yeah? Like an example, you go out there looting and maybe picking up some flowers, enjoying the view, and there is a group of black-clothed people with masks and Kalashnikovs pointing up to your head and say, "Hey! Well, no, you come with us. Flower time is over." So you got pissed, yeah? Because, nah. Again, such a situation. I will die, blah blah blah. No. We have our rules, the rules from the server, so everything is completely checked up. So if you follow these rules, we will follow these rules. So everyone has a great time. You will not lose your character if you be a nice gentleman, yeah? And that's it. So, but enough from that. The lore behind that. How it came to DayZ. There was a German city RP server, Lost Place. I spent almost 2.5 or 3 years over there. At least I was co-project owner on the server.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a great time over there, but it was city RP. I don't know why, but the Germans love city RP. But for me, it's boring. So if I want to play DayZ, I want to play DayZ and not DayZ meets GTA 5. So I was thinking how I can bring this lore over to a international server like Status of Survival. Um, in All Against Odds, there was only Jäger at the first part of the season. Goodbye Kitty joined at the second part of the season, so with the second storyline, as a member of the HOC. So the people just know he was kind of a contract killer and some creepy gases and rumors. Maybe he's a terrorist or whatever. I mean, you can call him everything. It would be true. Killer, terrorist, informant, the best neighbor.
Oh, 100% best neighbor, totally. Yeah.
um, so I guess it was Viking and Rogue Godness who got deeper into the HOC lore and All Against Odds. And because we had this big group of people in Krona Castle, I was like, well, let the character follow his roots, yeah, his golden roots from the HOC, but don't involve everyone to that, because it's a too big group for that. So I picked out some from my opinion, the best choice that I ever took, and made a plan what we're gonna do in Keys of Copa. And it worked. It was a small group. Everyone was involved in shit. Everyone was informed about the rules and the back law of the HOC. And we had a great time. And now we have the Cross family.
Yes, we do. So the HSC has been through a bunch of games, and it's now into DayZ.
Exactly.
Wow, man. That
And the concept is a multi-tool that you can use on every RP game that plays in the modern world. Yeah, so when you have guns, you can bring the HOC into it. Even in Red Dead Redemption 2, if you want, you can bring the HOC into it. Would be a little bit tricky with the law, with the back law of that, so it would be the how it's called, the prequel.
prequel. Yeah, prequel.
The prequel of the HLC, but that's fine. Skander, as an example, he took this concept to the computer, to the PC community, and now he is in a Russian GTA server with the HLC, and I'm as well on the Discord, and he has over 220 members connected over 4 PC servers playing with each other under the flag of the HLC. So
Wow.
I'm really proud of that this concept is still running and still alive.
Oh, 100%, for sure. That's incredible, man. Seriously. And with that, I do believe that we are coming to an end to our podcast. So if there's anything that you'd like to say to finish it up, or last questions, now would be the time.
Well, yeah, one last question I have.
Okay.
You spent a good time with the HOC and you learned the concept behind that. So what is your opinion on that? What you like on it, what you dislike on it? That would be interesting.
The HSC, from what I saw in DayZ, I think that the HSC is really cool when it comes to the term of, it's not an organization or anything like that, but it's a tool more than anything. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Also, the profile that I gave Jaeger, apparently a famous profile.
Oh yeah.
I forget how it is. I believe it's Jaeger is a monster, but if you side with him and get to know him, he could be the best friend that you'll ever have. One that watches your back.
If you have him as an enemy, it's the worst enemy you can ever have.
Bingo.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And the HOC just in general, I think, is, it's cool that it comes from different games and stuff like that. I mean, like, having a group of friends or something like that, and then bringing them over to each different game, it kind of feels like that almost. And in the grand scheme of things, it's a cool way to bring it. It's a cool way to bring, like, your friends and what you've done and whatnot to other games by making it kind of like a multi-universe thing. And actually, speaking of a multi-universe, one last little point I want to bring up. I know that this server actually is thinking about Wyla. Wyla has thought about a multiverse for this kind of world, because of course there will be other projects other than the storyline that we're doing right now, and it would be kind of cool to think about, like, let's say Keys to Copa. What was the season? It was Keys to Copa this season,
It
and
was
then
all against. It
yeah,
was all
Against All
against
Odds.
odds. Keys of
Hmm.
Copa, Frozen Echoes.
Yeah, and then Against All Odds. Those three are kind of like in a pair for story. So of course, eventually that will come to an end. And it's just cool to think about, like, that's like in its own little bubble somewhere, and there's a new story that pops up out, like, back up, and boom, it's its own thing. But hell, it is what it is. And
Well, maybe that's a good thing with the HOC. You have, or I have. Imagine a box. Yeah, imagine a box. You
mhm.
have a new season. You have a concept. You have a lore. You open this box. You see all the profiles of the characters that you create over the years, and you look, well, yeah, this one could match. So you can bring the HOC back to this multiverse if you like. And that's the good thing about this tool, because you are able to bring your characters back. Yeah, if they are not dead, because I'm a person. If one of my characters is dead, he's dead. There's no coming back. There's no, okay, I go on another server, I bring this character back. No, if he's dead, he's dead. Finally. Yeah,
Mhm.
I will not bring this character back because there's too much story that is on this character. Yeah, there's too many memories that you have, too many emotions that you have. So if he's dead, he's dead. Um, but that's a good thing about this multiverse and the HOC tool. Not only that, everyone who's interested in crime RP or in terrorism RP, or call it what you want, yeah, um, it gives everyone who's interested. Doesn't matter if you are the real pro, the god of RP, or a completely newbie Bambi RP player. If you're interested, you can join this group, you can see how this works, and if you have fun, you can leave. If you have fun, you can stay. If you don't like it, you can leave. That's easy. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
for
if you
sure.
got too deep involved, you can only leave as a dead body. That's something that's pretty clear.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, totally. And with that, I think that, I think that's this podcast, this episode. If anybody has
Perfect.
any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I have, we have more store to come.
Oh
A
yeah.
couple of people have asked, so we're going to be having more guests. Today was just more of a day to introduce ourselves and talk about our experiences, what we do, how we do them, stuff like that. And with that, I think that we can just say bye bye again.
Well, exactly. If you like what you hear, down there, there's the follow button, there's the like button, and leave a comment. That will push the video up and not only help us, it will help you to reach out to new people who are interested in Shadows of Survival, so we are able to find new members, meet new
100%.
faces, new stories. So there's only one thing left I can say. Whenever you see this video, have a good day, have a good morning, have a good evening, have a good night.
And until then, bye bye.